Hi everybody, it's Deborah's Daily Healthy, and I'm in the kitchen doing a little food prep, preparing some of my Seal meal bags. So I thought I'd talk to you for a couple minutes and see how your week has started out, but also share with you a couple of little tips. I've gotten some questions about salt and whether or not if someone reduces salt in their diet, if it will help them lose weight. Well, no. Doesn't. And someone said, well, why is it that when I seem to reduce my salt and I'm paying attention to that, I'm losing weight? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, when we have a lot of sodium and salt in our diets, typically we're retaining a lot of water. So we reduce that. What do? We lose that water we're retaining. So we've lost water. It's not really helping us lose fat. The other thing is a lot of the foods that contain a lot of extra salt, processed food, packaged foods, snack foods, they typically contain a lot of sodium. So if you've started tracking what you eat, but you're only looking at calories and not necessarily looking at the sodium, that's a key factor. If you're going, I'm not really losing weight, but I am feeling different. What's going on? Take a look at your macros, okay? That's really important because a lot of those packaged, processed foods that are diet foods have a lot of sodium. So you want to watch that. Now we're coming into Thanksgiving. Now I'll tell you, hello, here I am, I'm back. Okay, I'm enjoying a wonderful turmeric latte. I love this. If you enjoy a really great latte, there's no caffeine in this. If you go to livehappyhealthysexy.com, Deborah's Daily Healthy has a recipe for this on there. And it's really great. Okay, so check that one out. And I was thinking about what I was going to talk to you about. And, you know, salt, yes, it's that spice of life. When you're sitting down to your Thanksgiving table, I'm not going to ask how many people are going to be there. It's none of Deborah's business, okay? It may just be you and your immediate family. What have you prepared that has salt in it? Do you need that extra salt on the table? Now, I hear from a lot of people, but I use sea salt or I use, pink Himalayan sea salt. Okay, there are different varieties of salt. Depends on which you prefer. And there's a lot of different talk about salt out there. But salt is salt is salt. It's salt. It's sodium. Okay? Now, into everyone's life, a little sodium must fall. But if you have high blood pressure, if you have someone dining with you with high blood pressure, or you are getting up from meals and you're shortly thereafter finding you have a headache, that's a very key factor that you may have had a salt-heavy meal because it can increase the headache factor. So that's another thing to think about. There's all these signs that our body gives us when we are having too much of something or too little of something. And sometimes we just throw a pill at it to try to fix it when there's something else we could have done to prevent it entirely. So, kind of think about that when you're looking at salt and preparing your foods, letting your people dining with you know if you've already put salt in the food is also very helpful. I always do that. Now, we're about to come into a different Thanksgiving than we've ever had before. And I was thinking about this. I love to send cards, write letters. Does anybody notice how the price of cards have gone up? But I love sending something to somebody so that they're not always getting a bill in the mail or junk mail. So do check your mail carefully if you know me, because every once in a while I still write a letter. And it may go in that basic white envelope, but I love to write letters. And if you are looking at a different Thanksgiving this year, let's think about that. I've seen people, and I'll give you myself as an example. I had an amazing large troop of cousins growing up. And sometimes there'd be lots of us at Thanksgiving, and sometimes there'd be fewer. I had family in law enforcement and worked at a hospital, so hours would be affected. But we'd gather at Grandma and Grandpa's. We lived in a small town up in Northern California. Now, I know you may be saying, Deborah, you live in Roseville, you're already in Northern California. Well, it goes further north, and it was a small town, and I just remember the love, the laughter. I don't remember it being anything fancy, but there was this tradition. Now, things change for many reasons. Family size, marriage, people moving away, sometimes it's death. This year, we're going to have different traditions. Don't let it get you down. Maybe this is a way to teach ourselves, teach others, teach children about how to still enjoy life, still celebrate something, still have a tradition, still have that little bit of salt in our food, that little bit of spice of life, even though we may not have salted it. It's something new. I'm going to teach my mom a little bit about FaceTime on Thanksgiving, hooking it up to the big screen TV so that family can be together. I think about my cousins all the time, and I know they lead busy, busy lives. I'm sad to say we've lost one of them, but it doesn't mean I don't look at a picture that he gave me every day and remember and love him. You know, when sometimes we lose people in our lives for many different reasons, we think a certain part of it is over, and it's not. And we can't let COVID get in the way of celebrating, because we have so many ways to reach out to people. We're not losing anything right now. We still have Thanksgiving. And if we know somebody who needs cheering, we need to reach out to them. Now, fun runs are going to be different this year. I know every year I do a fun run, and I'm still doing one. I signed up to do it. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to hook up my map, my run, and support, because those food banks still need that. I know we're all in a different situation. If you can't do one, whether you run, roll, walk, or ride, if you can do it, I hope you do. And I always say it justifies that little extra piece of pie, right? But maybe there is something. Maybe there's something we can still do. And maybe there's lots of new. Not maybe, but there is. There's lots of new we can do. Maybe you're celebrating with a different size of family than you normally would. But let's reach out. Let's call. Let's FaceTime. Let's Duo. Let's Zoom. Whatever it takes. But life is going on. Now, in the last year, I've lost some people. And I know other people that have lost people. And sometimes we lose people to things, not to death. I've known people that have lost people over political beliefs, over things that shouldn't have made them lose people. And then sometimes life just changes. But when one door closes, another opens. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Now, if you're also looking for a great way to lighten this up a little bit, if you're looking for a great way to stop from snacking on unhealthy stuff as you're preparing in the next few days, try celery. But let's make it now. Get it in that cold water. I think it tastes a little better. It's crisper. Thin it down if you're not a big celery person. It's a great snack to have. Also, try making some healthy dips if you are one of those people that like kind of snacks all day. There's a lot of great ones out there. I have a few on livehappyhealthysexy.com if you want to check that out. But if you have questions, please hit me up. And for those of you who are looking at eggnog season coming, there are some great eggnogs out there that are lactose free. So don't forget those lactose intolerant people, because there's some great stuff out there to try. And we'll be cooking all the time now. I've got cheesecakes going, protein coffee cakes for some wonderful folks out there, and wonderful low-cal crustless pumpkin pies that I've been making for years that are my favorites. And we've also got some great apple pies going and chocolate pies. So I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for your time. This is Deborah with Debra's Daily Healthy, and I'm wishing you so much more and more and more and more to realize thanks for. Take care.